Good evening.
Good evening.
Sarah Regan, 32641 Deep Meadow Lane. Locust Grove, sorry. I want to address the board on a concern I have about what is, in my opinion, a lack of transparency from Orange County, specifically regarding data centers that are potentially coming into the county. I did a FOIA request recently. The reason I did it was because over watching you all work through the Valley Link issue, I've just been very impressed with how you have conducted yourselves. You've rock stars. I think I've said that, excuse me, every single time I've come up here. But when I looked at this T-zone ordinance, I couldn't square why you're so against the Valley Link project, but then this ordinance has left the county wide open to uncontrolled and no limit on, as far as acreage goes, to data center development. It just seemed to me, when I would read through it, it had developer fingerprints on it. But I don't listen to rumor and innuendo, so I did a FOIA request. And I asked for communication between county staff, not supervisors, county staff, regarding the T-zone district, and also any NDAs for data centers from last January to the present. I was informed that there are 2 NDAs for data centers that are being withheld from me. They are, which you might know in Virginia FOIA law, is the presumption should be on transparency. They should be redacted because not everything in an NDA is proprietary, but the entire NDAs are being withheld. I did get one email referencing a project at 5081 True Blue Road that I assume is a data center because it was responsive to my request. I can't tell for sure because the project name was redacted and the email attachment showing the project setback area was withheld. I received numerous emails from county staff, and unfortunately, many of them were from data center developers. Specifically, the emails give the appearance, and I'm not saying anybody intended for this to happen, but they do give the appearance that data center developers, and specifically their attorneys, had a seat at the drafting table for the T-zone ordinance. First up would be the Hirschler Law Firm. If anybody does not know that law firm, they are a big law firm in data center developing. Specifically, Charlie Payne is a managing partner there, and he has represented numerous data centers, including Amazon, in 4 counties. He was also the attorney involved in getting the rezoning for the Wilderness Crossing approved. Mr. Payne and his staff, one of his attorneys, I believe that one of the staff members was his assistant, made several recommendations for changing to the zoning ordinance. It is my opinion, looking at the draft they made and the final approved draft, that some of their recommendations pertaining to definitions, buffers, lighting, and the water services plan made it into the final approved version. More concerning to me is what was removed. On December 16th, at 1:26 a.m., the day the board voted on the ordinance, the Economic Development Director forwarded Charlie Payne's final comments to county staff. He made comments on several provisions, but I will focus on 2. These 2 provisions were specifically recommended by our Planning Commission to be approved by the board. Number 1, that the setback from an occupied residence be 1,000 feet. Mr. Payne stated, quote, "This is a very restrictive development standard." Number 2, that data centers provide quarterly electric and water usage reports. Mr. Payne stated, quote, "I am concerned this will be an issue for sure with data center companies, given power and water requirements are a competitive trade secret," end quote. A motion was made that both should be stricken from their ordinance. The motion passed and they were removed. On November 19th, Ryan Wade from MRP Realty, another developer and operator of industrial real estate, sent an email addressed Team OC to county staff with MRP's recommendations. He stated that, quote, "The most important recommendation is removing the reference to 100% opacity regarding buffers. The language requiring 100% opacity was subsequently removed." Non-industry entities and the public did not seem to get this level of access. For example, on November 21st, Piedmont Environmental Council asked by email to Ms. Meixel when the draft ordinance would be available for public examination. Ms. Meixel replied, quote, that the draft was available for examination at the Planning and Zoning Office during business hours. I'm not saying that anyone was intentionally behaving appropriately, and we all know a lot more about this issue than we did even 4 months ago. However, given the procedural history of Wilderness Crossing, prior legal action regarding the improper withholding of NDAs, which is going on again with the exact same, fact scenario, and the apparent inequality in outreach to the public versus the industry is concerning. I also got the work order from Berkeley, and I note that the county paid $92,000 to have them help with this zoning ordinance, but then took drafts and language from a developer's attorney. So when you have Amazon's attorney, who worked on Wilderness Crossing, suggesting edits to the ordinance that are then passed, but the public has to go down to Orange to the county office, the appearance is not good. So I'm asking the board to stop letting industry attorneys ghostwrite our ordinances. I ask that you release the withheld NDAs, restore the 1,000-foot residential setbacks, utility usage reports that were stripped at the 11th hour, and implement strict geographical and acreage caps to protect our county from the infrastructure that follows these utilities. Data centers are not good neighbors like Aerojet, and a floating zone is not the same as taking agriculture, rezoning it to residential, and back to agriculture. It is time for this ordinance to reflect the will of your constituents. And I don't know anyone that wants data centers in Orange, especially with what we know now, that following them is transmission lines. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.